And we're live. Michael, I can't see you today, but I can hear you. Welcome. I'm so happy that you can join me.
Yes, I'm on the road, as you know.
Yes. Yes. And it's not the greatest situation that you're in at the moment, but I feel that it's quite cool that we can do this still, if you
And
know what I
grow, and actually grow. So it doesn't matter the situation, as
Yeah.
long as you can grow.
Exactly, exactly. And we are both joining you in audio today so that we can spare our cameras and focus on being heard is our theme for this month, which we kind of busy ending off. Um, and our topic today is resonance and how we align our inner voice with the world, which is tricky.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but our inner voice is natural because we are all 101, as we say, right?
Yeah.
And because we are 101, let me get out of the thing. We can align. We actually are aligned to all. That's the funny thing. The funny thing is we want to be system relevantly aligned, but we are aligned human centrically, automatically. The same as we matter, every 101 matters,
Hmm.
and by nature, because otherwise we wouldn't be 101. Otherwise, all women would be the same, all men would be the same, everybody would be the same.
Yes, and I'm going to bring this back to we've had this conversation in email a little bit this week, especially around this woman, a doctor. I can't remember her name now. She's doing amazing research around how neurodiversity is most likely an evolvement of the brain and not a disorder. Yet our systems are restricting access to this deeper part of the neurodiverse mind and thinking.
Yeah, because because everything in systems is what systems need, not what humans need. And but we created systems to serve humans, right?
Yes.
So it has shifted to, and I just published the thing, and we can add that to our episode. Our
Hmm.
scarcity, we created, and I think it's very important for systems when we, as long as we are system relevant, that they are, uh, you know, that they are really efficient and can serve as many humans as possible. But there's a pivot point, a very fine pivot point, where they shift to, oh, you know, because of our outdated financial principles, it's never enough no matter what. Two,
Hmm.
now it has to be as cheap as we can get it. So we either make more money or we become cheaper to make more money because it's always a deficiency.
Yeah,
It's like the collective deficiency of outdated financial principles that demand it's never enough and have no opposite that it is enough. So what happens is that the systems that we bought, the artworks that we create, need to survive because they don't have a spirit. The spirit is money for them,
mm,
and they have to make money to actually do the service. And when they always need to make more money or get cheaper, guess who is losing? The
yeah,
humans that
yeah,
built them. They
yeah,
built them to serve us. We
yeah,
we lost because we built them to serve us, and we serve everyone, not just the neurodiverse people or the neurotypical people or the thing. It's that there is actually in humanity no disability
exactly,
because there is
exactly,
nobody's disability. There
yeah,
is there is we do it together. We're
yeah,
all here together and we do it together and we help each other out with whatever we can. So I'm not wealthy. I can't help you with money, but I can help you. We help all the other people by ex, uh, expressing our awareness that we work on.
yeah,
So that's what we can offer. We have a lot of awareness to offer that makes it easier for people to do what they need to do to find their own one-on-oneness. So,
but we can't offer that if we feel that we are not enough or that we aren't
exactly.
good enough. And that's where the problem with systems. I just want to say hello to Jason as well, who's joined us here in the comments. But that's for me where the problem with systems come in. So whether it's money, I'm not, I'm not earning enough, but it's also now the system wants productivity. So how much output can I give in how little time? Can I be a good factory worker, or can I fit into the box so that I can make the system work better, which is where the problem lies for me. And I'm not sure whether, if there is, we can update systems. I mean, we're going to have to update them by the second, or we need to first check in with the human centrist, with who we are, and know that we are not part of the system, to remove ourselves from the system and have it separate to us.
It's supposed to be separate of us. We should
Yes.
live our lives. I'm sorry, Michelle.
Yeah.
We should live our lives. We shouldn't worry about whatever we do has to equal money. I mean, look at this. Our relationships, even woman and man, they marry because of money issues. Because one person can support the other. They're not marrying because of love or because they like each other. Everything is because money has become, because of that constant lack of it's never enough no matter what we do, it has become survival. And when we survival, we go in scarcity, fight, flight, right?
Yeah.
And say, how can we survive this? How can we, so our DNA takes over in fight, flight, and directs us what we need to do, because the survival of the individual is the most important thing. So we all, I'm not living, but surviving. And beautiful. Thank you for bringing this in with me.
And that brings me back to our kind of topic of resonance. So, it's important for us to, first of all, listen to that inner voice, because not just system, but other people, other places, other situations, what we think we should be in those spaces and places kind of disconnects us from that inner voice. So how do we, and this is, I think, where I have the issue with words, and how difficult it is sometimes to align and find resonance, because in essence, how do we share meaning and not just words, which means different things to different people? Like for example, the word tribe. This is now a little bit of an experiment I've been doing, kind of checking in with people how they see this word, opposed to community, for example. And it's such a different experience of the word until we start unpacking it and going, well, what is the meaning that we're trying to share? What do I mean? What do you mean, kind of thing?
Yeah, because words, language is systems.
Yeah.
So that people can communicate with each other on a physical level, not on the spiritual level. On the spiritual level, you need to look at somebody and fall in love. That's it. You don't need a word,
Yeah.
But to explain that to another person, we have to be systemic. And the problem is with this, when the systems get so dominant, like we have it currently, they influence language. And what I hear now with politicians, they just, on purposely, as a strategy, just lie. They just lie as a strategy and then say, sorry, I was wrong. So
because they want to find that resonance.
Yeah.
They use that as a tactic for resonance. Yeah.
So everybody lies. And so the more you get into politics and the higher politics, the more you lie. Because you have this game of politics, this system we created has deteriorated, it's outdated, has not updated. And so in that systems, you have to lie and then be accountable and say, sorry, I was wrong. So they use the mixture between what I always say, the mixture between system relevant and human centric. because people forgive you when you say, I'm sorry, I'm wrong. But if that's a strategy, how can you forgive that person, or can actually understand and be benevolent like what you by nature are?
Because you've broken the trust, though,
Exactly. Yeah.
So when I realize that that's your strategy, then I'm never going to believe you again, because I know that you're
Yeah.
not authentic, because you
Exactly.
only want to resonate with me. You are not aligning with your inner voice.
Yeah. That's why everybody runs away. This is the what I say in the thing. Our only survival tools is in systems is now seducing, manipulating, controlling, cheating. That's our survival tools that we actually can survive, because the financial principle says money equals survival, and system relevance also equals survival. So this is, and that's why it's so important to segregate. This is human centric. This is system relevant. This is the digital world. The digital world is the least human centric, because you could just make stuff up and have no impact. If I come to you in your house and say I want to cancel you, that's impossible, or that's very hard to do. I can cancel you on the internet any day. That's easy to do. And then say sorry. And then if I cancel you wrongly, I say I'm sorry, I made a mistake. So that becomes a strategy for the most system relevant people. They don't see there's something wrong with it. They just say, okay, just lie, and then say you're sorry. That's it. That's the strategy, the lineage strategy, and then do it. What is that doing? What are we doing to ourselves? We created systems, and now we hand over our power that we created them. Like we say, we hand that over to rule that make that more relevant than humanity. There's nothing more relevant than humanity, the one of each of us. There's nothing, because we are all interconnected. So
Yeah, which kind of brings me back to where we briefly started before we went live. Kind of how I feel that we are evolving. Which is what's being seen as neurodiversity or dyslexia or
exactly,
ADHD or autism or whatever we want to.
all the mental health things, right?
Yeah, those are. Can we look at those maybe as evolvements of our perceptions of the world, and that just because they're not fitting into the system is a clear indication that these systems really are holding us back from evolving as a species, as a unit, as a one of ones of 8 billion.
Yes, absolutely, because we evolve, and it's the updated of the system is okay. The system, if the system is a living system, that you and I are propagating, that the living system that is aware of these things and constantly is aware of its function, that it has to serve every human, not certain humans, every human that is in its jurisdiction, and the awareness of segregating these things, and then say, okay, this is a human-centric issue, this is a system-relevant issue, even in politics, because they are the representative of the 8 billion people, of their people, of their area's people.
Yeah, but they're not. You know what I mean?
No,
They're not,
because
because
that's
they
not their
bought their
fault.
way in there. Yeah.
That this is a collective thing, that the mammon of the mammon of it's never enough has taken over the whole world. The top people in this world are not excluded. That's why I say, read my article. Nobody is excluded from it's never enough, because when half of the world believes it's never enough, the rest of the world must believe it, because emotionally, because we are all interconnected. We have to see we are one, and we are one of one. We are in the middle of one and one of one. We are all one, but it's important that we are our one of one, because this is an interesting thing, because a friend of mine, Masadi, told me yesterday, that the people, the people are fixing problems their whole life till they're 75, and they're not discovering their one-on-oneness. They're fixing people they're fixing to survive, to fix systems, to do systems, always doing. Everybody, remember, everybody's busy. And that makes you feel good because a part of it is true, because you are a creator. But you're putting the creation in the wrong perspective. You're putting the creation into the system and in the systemic being versus in who you are. So
Yeah, but it's all systems. Even talk about human centricity and versus system relevance. That's all systems. Words are systems.
context,
Yeah,
though. Yeah.
yeah. But it has to be agreed on. We need to agree on these meanings. And my whole issue with the system, as it has been for many years, is that it's trying to change the humans to fit into the system. So when your child is neurodiverse or whatever, we will teach him how to be different. But you can't, you know what I mean? It's like
But that's
you can't
outdated
teach
because
that. Yes, but and this is where the alignment comes in, as to how do we get to communicate with the people in the systems that are the problem. The systems
no,
are the
they are
problem.
not the
The
problem.
people.
They're
No,
not the
the
problem,
systems are the
Michaell.
problem, not the people. But the people go with the system because that's the easy thing to do, because this is where my
They have to survive
monthly
too.
salary comes from. This is how we've always done it. Even though I hate it, even though people sit in bathrooms crying
Yeah.
through their lunch breaks because they are not fulfilled or, experiencing life the way they'd like to, they
No, no,
keep in it.
they are hurting. The worst, the system people, the people work for the systems are actually humanly, spiritually, the most suffering because they get pushed from the top to get cheaper, to make more money, and from the people that need their help, their service, their facilitation, they push up. So actually, when you zoom out and look at the people in that workforce systems and have the safe income and have the thing, they have to number one. And I've talked to social workers all over, and not one was an a-hole to me. No one was degrading because they're themselves so dependent on what the top says, and they try to do the best. And they have literally verbally told me that said, a couple of years ago they could just get me a voucher or get this, but now they can't because there's protocols, and protocols are a generalization and actually are anti-human. Protocols is only as good as that the system can help more people more effectively, but not the individual. And this we have to. These are very tight lines of understanding that I God think this is my I'm very grateful that I go through this crisis because I become conscious of what's true by experiencing. By knowledge, you can tell me everything all day long, and I can believe that. But I
Yeah.
experience the humans, and I connect with them in six senses, not with one sentence in writing. Okay, and I experience what these people say, and I love humans more than ever because I see how much they suffer and they want to still do good. And I know I've talked yesterday to a lady that was a food nutritionist, yeah, that was supposed to think, and she was herself in a hotel. She survived in a hotel herself.
Yeah.
We can't, and that's what I put in the in. That's why this was. I'm so thankful for this information because I wrote in the thing that humans cannot be more exploited from the scarcity anymore. We can't, even if we want to support politics and we want to help people, we can't. We can't anymore because we are all in it and all pretending systemically we're all okay, we're all rich, we are wealthy, we're all powerful. And it's just pretension, it's just a form, it's never the function.
Yeah. But and yeah.
So we
Yes.
have to wake up, and that's what we're doing right now. And this is
Yeah.
exactly, we are at the right place at the right time, always. You know that. And
Yeah.
it shows us what I can do alone. With you, I can do better. You can do better with me.
Yeah.
That's, and it's not, and it's not a system. It's two humans.
And that's the beauty of it, because in that human connection lies all potential.
Yes, absolutely. Our limitless human 101 potential
Yes.
lies in and expands in having interaction with other humans, a human centric interaction with other humans, because we could talk about sports all day long. That
Yeah.
doesn't grow us. But if we talk about what is, and we are not in a crisis, it's a delusion that
Mm.
the false sense of it's never enough no matter what is contrary against nature, and we can never win against nature. Never, ever, because we are part of it. So,
And that's where the involvement comes in for me. You know,
yeah,
we are watching, and I'm listening to all this, integrating my children back to school, and listening to all this fixing. We're going to help them become, fix this problem. But in the meantime, there's an evolvement happening, and we are suppressing this potential um, problem solving mind that now needs to do stuff that is irrelevant, really.
and problem solving is contributing your one-on-oneness. You
Yes.
never not resolve, you never not work, we never not contribute, because you are the valve of the collective consciousness that that projects your unique perspective and views into the world.
Hmm.
And because if your kids get totally ousted by school, they still contribute. They don't need to suffer. We are completely in agreement that your kids, and no kid has to suffer.
But they
But
do.
I know
They
they
do.
do, but they still contribute too. They just, if they're not conscious, and then they think, see, then comes the conditioning where they say, I'm not just not worthy. I'm
Yeah.
dyslexic, but which took me 50 years of trying to fit in, trying to do the right thing,
Hmm.
doing whatever everybody told me,
Yeah.
not what my feelings said, what everybody told me. And look where it landed me. But
Yeah.
it landed me, but I was lucky to wake up with 50 and say, no, I'm one of 8 billion. That's science even confirms that. My family, everybody's different.
Yeah.
And I was blessed to get that wisdom. And once I got that wisdom, it changed my world. You know,
But
400,
imagine,
500 people want
yeah.
to talk to me all over the world. And because I resonate with our common denominator, being human. Nobody thinks about, when have you last heard, except for me, our common denominator is human. It's
Yes, I
irrelevant.
agree.
Humans are irrelevant. Who cares about it? We have talked ourselves with free will out that humans are relevant.
Well, they it's been in music, in art, in all those places. This has been what we've all been feeling and experiencing for centuries. I
Yeah,
mean, imagine you were
generations.
growing
Yeah,
up in a
yeah,
world where your your uniqueness, I know you don't like the word, your one of oneness,
yeah,
was celebrated, you know,
yeah,
and seen, and you were being heard from the age of whenever you could open your mouth, or with,
yeah.
imagine that's the world that we have.
Oh, we have no problem. Michelle, we have problems that we can easily solve. We can have technology that is fantastic, like the Zoom is fantastic, that we actually can, humans can be all over the world talking with more than one sense to each other, you know, and
Yeah.
they can listen, and they can see and listen and whatever. That we can do fantastic. But is the human, it's not the systems, it's not the technology, it's the humans that's unaware. Because what I said in the thing, that the leaders are the most unaware because they're the most frightened. They need every month, $100 million or whatever, or $1 million every month.
Yeah.
And therefore they have much, and because money equals survival, they need more and more. And they will do everything because they're so fear driven. They'll do everything to take the money from other people in some way or another, because
Yeah.
they are not, we are used to not having money, but they are used to have money. And when you're used to have money and all of a sudden you have the threat that you might not have anything, or you might sit on the street, there is a big difference. So they are also system relevant. They are very system relevant, and they have a talent. They are super talent, is that they can actually manipulate systems and are aware of the how to do it and how to survive, which normal
And
people don't have the education and
yeah,
are not conditioned to that because their
which I
parents
think
were
is
the same,
still we should
right?
all learn, really. I mean, there's no shame in manipulating systems for your survival.
Yeah,
But I also want to say, I'm not sure if we can compare leaders there or millionaires or whatever, that element of fear to the survival, of a mother that is living in Palestine and not, having to protect the children or whatever. There's
I
different.
think she knows why. That
Oh,
I
I
think
don't know,
she is better
Michaell.
because she knows why she's suffering. She knows why her kid is dying. The leaders don't.
She
The
though, I mean,
unawareness is
yeah.
the killer.
Yes, yeah, but I don't know. There is a injustice in the world, and I feel that systems are the reason for it in general.
Outdated. Please don't say system.
Yeah,
Outdated systems no, because no,
yeah,
the unawareness is always when you're not aware of something, you're frightened. It's the unawareness. When I'm in war and my kid gets shot or dies from hunger,
mm,
everything is clear. I don't like it. It's not happy. It's not joyous. It's not what humans beings should do. But it happens, and I see it. When I'm not aware and have because why do they have so much money and need so much money per month to survive? Because to make them aware, the nature does make mistakes. It pushes them till they get it. And we are also the people that aware. That's why awareness and wisdom is essential, because that's on a level for all humans. It's not a level, just for the rich or for the poor or the famous. It's for every human. It's an awareness where your individuality can just hook in and says, yes, I can make this my way. What Michaell said, I can take that and I can place my thing better, my perspective better. It's the perspective. If we would have a perspective that scarcity is unreal, that is a lie, it's completely lie, that we all generated this, so it's nobody's fault. We all generated that scarcity thing. Then we can let it go and say, look at this beautiful world. Look, I'm looking at green trees. I'm looking at a palm tree. How beautiful. And then
yeah,
the moment becomes wonderful. And I think that's the magic. It's the perspective. And that we do everything to make people more aware about their own perspective. That's what we do. We are the system updaters. And that's
yeah,
our contribution. But there might be other contributions saying, oh, we have money. We can provide money. We can provide help. We can provide healing. That's how we work together, not segregated. It's not healing is more worth than providing money, or awareness isn't worth nothing, and wisdom and art is not worth. Everything is the same worth because it's all generated by one person.
yes. I learn from you, and I hear you. I'm still not sure about in
And
my
we need that.
dream
We
world.
need that. We
Yeah,
need that, Michaell. I'm not saying you're wrong. There is no wrong or right. I'm saying I'm happy that you have that because you triggered that article that I wrote,
yeah,
the CSA article. I mean, you triggered that, and also look at the purpose of your kids. They project to you what you grew up with, and they projected that to you, so you can relive it and solve it. You are
Yeah.
solving now the outdated systems, you know.
Oh, Michael, from your lips to God's ears, wouldn't that be nice?
That is
um,
nice,
yeah,
Michelle. That is happening right now.
yeah. If it, and this is where that aligning that inner voice with the world is. How do I, for example, um, communicate this? I mean, it's
You
not just
do,
a system. Yeah,
Michelle. You were
communicate
told
that.
you're a woman. You were
Mm,
told you're a woman. Okay, that's already systemically less.
yeah,
You were in an area where women were not, embraced as one-on-one human beings. They were women.
yeah,
And so then you had a lot of things with, South Africa, with a lot of
hmm,
system issues,
yeah,
which were only reaction to system things. So you're extremely conditioned uh, by system. And I was conditioned in Austria, and I had to come to America because of my health, to
mhm,
California, to survive. That's that's it's beautiful. It's hard in the moment to go through it, but you learn the most from your adversities, and not from the
exactly. No,
and
I
then not
agree.
from everything good. And look
Yeah,
where you are now. Right now, you have a roof over your head, you have animals in the garden, uh,
yeah,
and you created beautiful two children that I adore just by looking at them.
yeah,
And you, of course, your mother DNA instinct says, I don't want what I created and nurtured to be themselves to be destroyed by this outdated system.
yeah,
And that's what we need to look at. That's how we need to look at that. Systems are here to serve us, not we to adapt to them.
exactly. And
Because
that's
adapting
beautiful.
is
Yeah,
tact. You don't hit somebody just because you want to hit them. That's a tact. You don't have tact. That's the human centric
mm,
behavior. And from that, you go and say, we don't need system. Yeah, because people should be, but we are also highly sensitive. We
yeah,
are we are the highly sensitive, which is systemically wrong because they don't want to update. Why is highly sensitive wrong for a system? I had 150 doctors in my life. I was a sick child.
mm,
They were telling me, trying, and east and west and healers and whatever, because my parents could afford it,
yeah,
and they were all shaming me. I'm a hypochondriac. I'm a thing. And now we find out when I was 50 that I'm asymptomatic reacting. So when aspirin helps you, it might kill me. I
yeah,
just was at a hospital where they did wound healing,
mm,
and they made my foot worse. I went to another hospital that let another diverse person for 6 hours or 4 hours in a dark room with fluorescent light.
yeah,
They are all, and they're not. I'm not blaming them,
mm,
but we need to accept that everybody's a one-on-one, and because we don't accept that, we can't serve. Systems can't serve because they're outdated. So
yeah. But a
that's
system can't accept that because the system has to generalize to function productively better. So that's my
yes,
issue with the
but
system lies.
yes, 100%. I said that before.
Mm,
But when it comes to one-on-one, yes, they have to work the best that they can work, the most efficient, to serve as many humans as possible as one of one, not as human as possible. And say, oh, we did 100,000 people, but 99,000 people died. That is, yeah, you served 100,000 people, but 99, when even 1,000 people died. That
yeah,
is an outdated system. You
yeah,
serve everyone as the most people possible, as one of one, not as a generalization, to be every month more efficient money wise. Because you're giving less. I say, okay, Michelle, I can't give you the crutches. You just have to do by yourself and have somebody to carry you. I
yeah,
can't do that. I have to give you crutches so you get back on your feet.
yeah. But I can also explain or help you create a mode of walking. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah, yeah,
because we've taken out and put into these um
exactly,
this,
exactly.
yeah,
Is
spaces which
crutches the
are
latest
natural.
thing? Is crutches the latest? No, we have this little dolly walkers. That's not. I don't think that's all we can do.
No, you can carve a stick. I mean, you can go outside and create a thing. But once again, systems have told us that it's dangerous to do these things. We have to buy it from this
Not
company
only
because
the
this company.
outdated things of systems, the, the if there wasn't an outdated, they would see that. They would say, "Hey, there's so many artists that have no money. Let them invent something. Let them do something." This is not a massive amount of money. This is just we don't want to spend anything more. We want to spend less. And that's because financial principles say it's never enough no matter what, and money becomes survival. So I need an opposite to that, and that is our enoughness. So scarcity is the lie. Scarcity is what we all collectively conditioned us for generations, and we got to stop.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Michael, thank you so much.
I love you.
Yeah, love you lots, and so always great to talk to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just do our bit and
that's all we can do.
Be human.
We felt that every human can only do what they can do. I cannot do what you're exhausted because you do what others want, what others are supposed to do, what you're supposed to do. Do whatever you can do the best way you can, and the world is healed in days.
Yeah.
Yeah. That doesn't mean we have no problems. We will have problems, but there will be a joy to fix. There will be
and if we can, we all just walking each other home.
Exactly.
And
because if I am good, you are good. If you are good, we are good, others are good. It's just we can lift each other up just by being us, just by being, and not doing. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you. I will.
You're welcome.
Chat to you again next week.
Yes.
Same place, same time.
Yeah.